Hey everybody, it's Christopher. Welcome and hello from Edmonton, where it's been absolutely pouring all day. So we're a bit drowned out here, but otherwise it's been a good Sunday, and I hope yours has been too. I wanted to take a little bit of time today to just give you a sneak peek into the history behind the first track off my EP that's called Effective Today. The track is Dropping the Chain. And with this song, I actually had the idea for this song going back a couple of years ago, but it's had a few twists and turns before it came to the version that I decided to finish and put onto this particular EP because I thought that it would fit well with it, but getting ahead of myself. So first of all, like all the other songs on this EP and my EP prior to that, I tend to write my solo stuff on my own, either at a piano or on a guitar or something, and come up with an idea for the lyrics, come up with a direction for the song, record a quick demo of it, and then let it sit for a while and come back to it later on or not. And sometimes they have a sneaky way of coming back to you in a moment when you're not thinking about it or expecting it and presenting it in a brand new way. So if I can get the technology here to help me out, I'm going to try to show you what this originally looked like. So I'm going to do this Evernote here. And so when I started this, there was a control here that let me switch the camera, and it's not doing it now. I thought I could flip over to Evernote, but anyway, if I could make this work, which I can't now, apparently, without stopping this, if I figure out a way to do this for the next time, I will get that to happen. But it looks like I can't flip the camera to another window. But anyway, what I do is I use Evernote to keep track of all my song ideas, my lyrics, and so on. And I use it primarily, well, because it's awesome, but also because it's cross-platform, and I can have it on my phone and on my laptop and sort of everywhere. And that's really helpful for me because I write my lyrics by hand. Like I have journals that I carry around with me everywhere where I actually write the stuff down. So like that. And I also tend to come up with ideas when I'm just sitting and noodling around on the piano. It's one of my favorite things that I do. And when I come up with something in the moment, I'm like, oh, this is good. I should remember this. Pull up my phone, which has the Evernote app on it. And I open up Evernote quickly while I can still remember. And then I touch an audio note. And I just say, make a new audio note. And I'll place it on the piano that I'm playing and just record a little snippet of it. Sounds terrible, but the idea is just to capture the idea right when it happens. Because if any of you have ever tried to write songs or do any kind of writing, actually, music or not, you'll know that if you don't capture it then, you'll probably forget it. So anyway, I'll see if I can turn this up and let you hear some of the things I had come up with a couple of years ago. So this is off of my phone, playing the piano. I just came up with this while I was sitting there and noodling around and just making stuff up, and came up with this progression and this melody on top. I'm like, oh, I gotta save that. So got my phone, open up a new audio note, put it down by the piano, and I start playing. Right. And that way I could remember it. There's another one here. This similar kind of thing. Yeah. And now I'm making up some words to it. Again, just on my phone. So that was the idea. And I don't think I was writing very consciously at the time about what this song was going to be or what the lyrics were going to be, just kind of going with what was coming out. And then went and wrote some lyrics for it, books. I happened to have that kind of little demo in my head. Ended up writing there. And then I came to the studio and recorded a quick demo, and the idea that I had in my head from the piano version that I just did a quick version of was a much more acoustic, slower version, much more low-key, didn't have the verses, didn't really have what it was going to be about. And I called the demo Gino Vanelli, Wild Horses, because there's a song from the 80s called Wild Horses that has brush snare on it. That was a big hit for him, called Wild Horses. So I envisioned this song having the same thing. So I went into Reason, which is the software I use, and came up with something like this. All I did. So I even have, I think, fretless. Hi.
Hi.
I'm on Facebook Live right now. If you want to say hi.
Hi. No, I'm not. I don't want to.
Then don't. Then you don't have to.
Keep going.
Keep going. So the idea at the time I had in my head was to do a song that sounded like that. So it had like fretless bass and brush snares, and it was just going to be like this low-key little thing. Recorded this little demo, it went into my iTunes and just sort of sat there for probably a couple of years. And then after what happened at my work, where I was laid off or reorged or whatever you want to call it, I had this idea had this vision for, I needed a song for this collection of songs I wanted to do. I wanted to do brand new stuff people hadn't heard before. And I wanted at least one of those songs to have a Coldplay moment or be a Coldplay moment in my show. And what I mean by that is I don't know if you know about Coldplay or if you have seen them or love them or hate them, but you've probably seen them somewhere where in their concerts, which are these big spectacles, replace Coldplay with U2 or whoever you want, but usually they're really good at these moments on stage where it's a really high energy track and all the lights come on and there's confetti cannons and there's lasers and everyone in the stadium all have like wristbands with LED lights on them that are all flashing, so it's all like going crazy and it's high energy. It's a song like Every Teardrop is a Waterfall or Sky Full of Stars, things like that. It's a big thing, and I'm like, well, it'd be great to have something that had that energy with it. And so while I was here in the studio, I was just not consciously thinking, but just playing around with different sounds. I started playing this chord progression. And I remember back to this song idea I had like 2 years ago. And so I started playing that. And I quickly threw a drum beat over it. I'm like, maybe this could be it. So what if I did like this? etc. So once I was playing around with that, that old song came back
Hello.
and all of a sudden I could write all the lyrics to it because I knew what the song would be about. I knew how it would fit into this EP I was making, and it had a completely different feel than I originally had for it, but by going in this direction, all of a sudden I had in my head what the song was about, and I could finish writing it. So this is the end of this. There's no more of this to pull down on me. And the rest, I just like wrote really quickly and recorded it and sort of finished it up, because it sort of, once I made that connection in my head and knew what the song was, then I just had to get it down and make it sound like what it was like in my head. But the verses that I wrote and the point of the song is all about, you know, the phrase dropping the chain means you've been hauling around these really heavy chains with you for a long time, chains of like heaviness or the past or things that you worry about, things that are sort of dragging on you. And the song is all about the moment when you decide enough and you let go and you just drop that, so you can go on and do great things and move on with your life, instead of just continuing to drag these chains around with you. So that's what the song is about. That's how I wrote it, and that's why it sounds the way it does. And now you know the story behind dropping the chain, and now you know what Kira looks like.
Hello. Everybody give a big hand of applause for Chris.
Thank you, Kira. And you heard what Lauren sounds like, even though you haven't seen her, because she's over there too. And yeah, I hope you get to listen to it. It's on my new EP, effective today, so it's out on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all those places. And I'm putting a link down in the notes below once we're finished here.
Lauren.
Who's that? There you are.
I had a sticker in my hair.
You're just sitting.
No, I actually did. And she put the sticker on my foot.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then in your hair?
And then Lauren put it in my hair. No, I did not.
Anyway, we're going to get going here. But I hope you have a listen to it and the rest of the EP. And if you have any questions about it or comments, please comment below. I'd love to hear about it. And if not, we'll come back next time with another behind the scenes of another track.
Smile.
I am smiling.
No, you're not.
Sure I am.
Bye.